Word is my power. Power. What's up, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the C-Man. I want to welcome you to another edition of the C-Man's Cinema Sit Down. I'm riled up, baby, because my word is my power. That's how I inject myself into the world, talking to you guys. I also like to write things, which, don't necessarily go out to the world, but maybe one day it will. But definitely the speaking. And word being power plays into the power of the movie that I just watched this morning. Oh, I was excited when I saw the trailer for this because I love Jamie Foxx, I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I love anything that'll give me superpowers, superheroes, or anything like that. And the concept seemed interesting. I didn't know necessarily. Like, it was one of those things. Like, I had hopes, but if it would have went sideways, I wouldn't have been completely thrown off by that. I would have been disappointed. But like, yeah, right. I could see how this kind of like a Bright, right? When Bright came out, it's like, I love Will Smith. I love Joel Edgerton. This should hopefully work. And elements of it did, but it kind of came up short. What's nice here is I don't think this movie comes up short at all, man. Like, it definitely goes, for me, in the right direction. And woke up early for work this morning. This movie got me up, man. Like, I threw it on. I was like, oh, shoot. I got some stuff to do. Let's put this on while I'm getting myself ready. It woke me up, man, because I really enjoyed it. What are we talking all this power about? Why don't you pull up a chair, man? Take a seat. We're getting ready to dive in, spoiler free, into Project Power. And like I said, I love when a movie can give you a good soundtrack or a good song. And this one definitely gives you a solid, like I guess it'd be the theme song. For the movie, it ties in ways, but the lyrics and what the song's talking about, my word is my power. The girl is a bit of a rapper, but it kind of ties into the overall theme in the movie, which talks about power. Because if you're unfamiliar with Project Power, it is a movie about a pill where if you turn it, it's technology. It turns on, pop it in, it gives you 5 minutes of a superpower. It bonds with your genetics. It changes it for that 5 minutes, and anytime it changes, it's always the same thing, but you don't know what it'll be. You might be able to turn, like, say, the Human Torch and go full fire mode. You might, be able to be, say, bulletproof, which we see Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character get shot in the face in the trailer, and it just ricochets off. Or you might take this pill and explode. You don't know. But while the movie talks about the powers that become, part of the people that are in the movie is also just talking about that. What is your power, right? Because nobody knows what their power is until they pop the pill. But what is your actual power? What is the thing that gives you power to inject yourself into the universe and do something? Whether it's, you're a villain and you're doing negative, you're putting that out there. That could be your power. Or if you're not, do you have something that can bring positivity, that can push things in the right direction? And that's the underlying kind of concept here throughout the movie. And what's cool about this movie is, like, when you can say you have that in this type of thing, this is a movie that doesn't need the superpowers, man. This movie works as a street level crime drama. If you remove the superpower element and replaced it with some other thing to be in the way of our heroes getting to what their end game is, this movie would still work because it's really grounded and street level, and it's a detective movie. Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are both doing different kinds of detective work. One guy is a cop, spoilers, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. One guy is not, but one guy's on a mission to do something. And as he kind of goes through that movie, it just works on that street level thing. And I say street level a lot because the writer, Mattson Tomlin, is the co-writer of the best of all street level superheroes, The Batman with Matt Reeves. And you show me a guy that can make a super power movie that works on the street level and gets into some of the things that I want to see in a Batman movie, that gets me very excited. And that's really the thing that works for me here, is that there's a story that doesn't need the superpowers. The superpowers enhance the story. And I will say this, I think the movie works as a streaming film. I didn't really feel like I missed a ton. The visual effects in the movie are very good. And directors Henry Joost and Ariel Schumann, who have worked on Nerve with Emma Roberts and Dave Franco, which was a very stylized movie that I enjoyed. I kind of like the concept of that one. And it worked for me. Not a great movie, but like worked as a small film, and it was flashy, you know. And then I think they also worked on Paranormal 3 together. But these two guys are also getting back together with Mr. Mattson Tomlin to do Mega Man, which is exciting to see this team take on another thing like that. Gives me kind of high hopes for other movies. That's how much I enjoyed this. And like I said, I'm just very impressed with Tomlin to be able to write a movie that didn't need the superpowers. And I think Joost and Schulman do a really good job stylistically. I like the way these guys shoot and tell a story. The pacing is really good. The camera takes you into interesting places, sets up interesting things. They use slow motion really well. Slow-mo is one of those things I love when used correctly, but a lot of people can use slow motion not correctly, and I'm like, why? It didn't need to be in there. But here, I think when they do slow motion things, it works really well. And like I said, the visual effects are really strong. They made something work that works on the small screen with the concept of, like, I think if they had more money, this is a team that could do something on the big screen. So excited for Mega Man. Definitely more excited about what could be going on with the Batman. Like, Matt Reeves already had me interested because, you know, he could get down into that kind of, you know, a smaller, big kind of movie. But knowing that Tomlin can deliver something that's this street level for this type of movie, could apply that to the street level of all superheroes with the Batman. Very exciting. But the other thing that really makes this movie work is its cast. I mean, come on, dude. Like, you guys know how much I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. We've talked about him during the pandemic with 7500. He's great here, man. He's a New Orleans police, officer, and he's got a little bit of a New Orleans accent, and it works really well. And he just chews the scenery, man. He's electric when he's on screen. He has some really, really solid, like, police type stuff, and a really solid relationship with our other main character, played by Dominique Fishback, Robin, which is funny. As we're talking Batman, Robin, they make a Batman Robin, spoilers, reference at one point in the movie. I'm like, yeah, this movie has Batman Robin elements to it. Like, if we get the Batman and we can get to a Robin, bring Mattson Tomlin in on that, because he crafts a pretty solid Batman Robin kind of feel to the relationships with some of the people in the movie. But when you have good chemistry like that, it allows him to have some fun. He has a sequence with Fishback's mom at one point that is just tremendous. And the way he thinks and acts, I like him a lot as a cop, and is an easy guy to root for. Jamie Foxx, who plays Art. I always loved Jamie Foxx, man. I've been watching this guy since I was a little bitty kid, man. Like, all the way back to In Living Color. And same with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I've been watching that guy since he was a kid. You know what I mean? If you go to Third Rock from the Sun. But, you know, Jamie Foxx, he's the triple threat, man. He can sing, he can act, he can do comedy, and he just has all of these natural abilities. And when he really hits his stride, he's so good, and he hits it really well here. I like what they do with his character. His character has a lot more secrets to it than some of the other characters, so I won't really say much about him. I don't really want to spoil anything about this movie because it is a really nice, fun surprise. But I like how they utilize his character. I like what his motivations are. I like how he interacts with our characters and how he carries and does things in the movie, and how that kind of reflects from where he came from. Really interesting, fully fleshed out character, who you would want, as far as Jamie Foxx goes. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt doesn't need to be extremely fleshed out, but again, feels like a full-fledged character, as does Dominique Fishback. She is why this movie was great, man. Her relationship with both Fox and Gordon-Levitt has a Batman Robin feel to it. She's kind of like Robin, and ironically, her name is Robin in the movie. And she kind of works with both of them as parts of who a Batman is. I'm telling you, this guy Tomlin, I'm very excited for the Batman now. But crushes it, dude. Like, out of nowhere. I'm not familiar with Dominique Fishback, and she blew me away, man. She is funny. She can bring the serious. She can, just lock in and do so many versatile things on camera that she just works, and it makes this movie pop a lot more because I loved her character. Again, fully fleshed out, where she's coming from, what her motivations are, how she interacts with these people, why she interacts with them the way that she does. It all just works so well. It's the whole reason the movie works for me. Like, you have a good movie, Dominique Fishback makes this a really good movie. Now, I guess if I was going to point to an issue with the movie, is there's no, like, hard set villain. There are bad guys. It's more of that company is a bad guy. The people who are producing this power pill. That's who our antagonist is, and that's the motivation. So you don't have like one clear cut bad guy in this movie. There's a couple of them, and they're not on screen a lot. A lot of their workings are happening off screen. It's not like you're missing anything. The story is filling you in. It's not stuff that you need to see, but they work off screen a lot more, which great because we can spend more time with our main characters. But they're not like, they're not like you hate, like it's like those early Marvel villains, man. Like they're there because we need them to be there. But the overall story, because of what they did, makes it work in the sense of what the motivations are for our characters. So you could have had that's the there's no real big bad that can work in a Batman movie, but considering that we've heard the rumors and the amount of villains that are going to be in the Batman, I'm interested to see what Tomlin and Reeves do from full how much they use those villains, because those are villains you want to be rich, because they are rich and colorful and fantastic. So that'd be my one worry if you're thinking about the Batman. My one kind of like critique here on the movie is that you could have had better villains, but what we get, how the powers are used, the people who get in their way, really awesome stuff, man. And what's neat here is this is a movie, like I said, works without the superpower stuff, and it's grounded in more reality. These aren't superpowers that just are birthed. These are genetically created, so there's a lot of science to this stuff. But interestingly enough, the things that they kind of go after, obviously, are going to reflect superheroes. Very, very strong X-Men ties. The power sets that we see multiple times through the movie, I was like, oh, there's that. Oh, there's that. Oh, man. That. Oh, like something was happening. I'm like, oh, you're going to do one of these. More, that mutant-esque power type sets are kind of where they come from. They come from the environment and nature, because of the science angle. So you're able to use something that's realistic, and it works inside the movie without making it too fantastic, like people are just born with superpowers. But the superpowers they use, even from that scientific angle, reference, for sure, things that come from the comic book superhero, superpower world. And specifically here, it's a lot of X-Men references. And I love the X-Men, so I love seeing, like, I would have loved to see more. I would love to see a follow-up to this movie if powers got way out of hand. And it was, because they just did good things. I really just enjoyed this one. So there you go, man. Those are all the C-Man's non-spoiler thoughts on Project Power. A nice action, sci-fi, comic book feeling film from Netflix. And we've seen them do really good stuff, obviously, with the Marvel Netflix shows, with Umbrella Academy. The Netflix team seems to have their handle on this type of stuff, and this is one of those big swing action type movies where it ends up being a little bit smaller than you'd think, but works really, really well. Like it hits all the things you would want in a streaming movie of this caliber. So shout out to that whole team. Shout out to the cast and crew. Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Dominique Fishback. I would watch those three go solve crimes and stop superpowered bad guys all day long. So those are my thoughts. Now I want to know what you're thinking. Have you checked out Project Power? This is rare during the pandemic and with work that I actually get something out the day it comes out. So maybe you haven't seen it. But if you have, what'd you like about Project Power or not like? Did this movie work or not work for you? Was it one of those where you really liked the story, didn't like the acting, really liked the actors, but it was like, the story was okay? Or are you somewhere in the middle of those two? Or did you just think this was like, this is getting me excited for other movies that are coming from these creators? Anything you're thinking, good or bad, if you've seen it, and it goes down below in the comments. And if you haven't, has the old C-Man enticed you? I hope so, man. Like I said, I think as a fan, certainly of the Batman in general, and the movie The Batman that is coming, I think this points to really positive, hopefully great things for that. So I'm excited. So if you're getting excited for other things because you like what this team is doing, even that Mega Man stuff, I'm like, I'd like to see what they could do with this. I want to know what you're thinking there too, man. Hopefully we enticed you. Hopefully you're interested, intrigued. You want to get in on this Project Power, man, because it's getting me hyped. So leave all your comments down below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to show the old C-Man the channel some love, jump over there. Join the Cinema Sit-Down squad by hitting that subscribe button. Hit that little bell if you want those alerts. And until next time, for the C-Man Cinema Sit-Down, I'm the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace! Well, I'll be. You guys are still here. You must be looking for some more content. Well, don't worry. C-Man's got you covered, man. You got videos like this guy and this guy. And if you haven't yet, and you want to come check out all the C-Man goodies, join the Cinema Sit-Down Squad, man. Hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the little bell down below that, too, so you can get alerts every time I make new videos.